Hello everyone, welcome to the onlooks acknowledgement video. You might notice a couple of things like the whole voice thing. It was mainly because I was too lazy to type down everything because my god would there be a lot to type down thanks to the misery known as level 27 of mining operation, which uses 100 of most ores in the game, which is miserable in every way. So this video here is to acknowledge the new updated values for the base operations for prior ore onlooks, as well as some other things that got added in the update. We'll first go over the simpler thing, the new pickaxe, the Prometheum pickaxe. Thankfully when I made the Prometheum ore onlook, it was very recently, go check it out, it was after the update was released, so I don't have to acknowledge Prometheum itself. The other two materials, Newtonium and Dragonstone, are a little different. You might be wondering why I mentioned these materials. Well, they're a part of the Prometheum pickaxe itself. So, for the case of Newtonium, I was unaware of the fact that the Prometheum pickaxe even involved Newtonium in the first place, so I do apologize. With that said, that pickaxe does use 50 Newtonium. As for the Dragonstone, I plan on acknowledging that in the stone video, because I mentioned prior that I was going to include Dragonstone in the stone video, instead of making it its own video. Now, I'm not sure why I made this decision, since it could very well stand by itself as its own ore onlook, with how often it's used in base upgrades and just how important it is, but I can't really change my past mind about that, and I don't really want to go out of order. So, now for another thing in the update. The new update also adds 4 new ores, which I'll make separate videos on last because it feels deserving for those ores to be the last ones on the list due to its recency. But that is not what drove to make me this video in the first place. It's mainly the new base upgrades, which give every base station, minus the teleporter and personal mine of course, 2 extra upgrades. In this video, I'm going to mention every ore that had a value change as a result of this, which would be every ore that isn't an event ore. We'll first start off by the ones that only got affected by mining operation level 27, and work our way from there, because it's specifically that level that caused an immense ruckus. So with that said, here are the following ores that only got 100 added to their count thanks to that level. Some ores are not included because they're either events or special ores are included in other upgrades or are straight up miserable to get to 100 with, like Kappa for an example. Here were their total amount needed to level up certain base stations at certain levels before the update came out. You'd think Garnet, Opal, and Moonstone would be exceptions, but I guess the devs were feeling extremely merciless that day. Anyway, here are their new values. Thanks to mining operation level 27, 100 is now added to all of them. Alright, now to go over the more specific ones. I'll start with the simpler ones and work my way from there. Ambrosia comes first, and this is the first time Ambrosia is even being used for anything. Although it's only being used for level 27 mining, you would not need 100 Ambrosia for it. Instead, you only need 1, which is why I didn't include it in the list of ores prior. So, that brings the amount of Ambrosia you need for base stations from 0 to 1. Next is Copper. Copper is such an odd one to mention given how rare the remaining ores are, but it's mainly used for the penultimate level of data and analysis, requiring a whole 4,000 copper to attain. Adding on with the 100 copper from 27 mining and the 14,470 copper from every other upgrade, this turns copper's total into 18,570. Alright, so plutonium is next. I did make a video about plutonium very recently, but it appears I miscalculated. I acknowledged most of the base upgrades with the exception of a few levels from the mining operation. Levels 25 and 26 actually use 120 and 225 plutonium respectively, which leads to the initial total of 373 becoming 718. This wasn't a result of the update because I also included level 27 in the initial video, so this was just a goof up on my part. I apologize. Next comes the 3 marketplace ores, Amethyst, Diamond, and Emerald. Normally there'd be 3 others I'd be mentioning alongside this, but they're supposed to be mentioned in a future video, not this one. So with that said, all of them will require 500 of each for the penultimate upgrade of the marketplace, being level 13. Adding that with mining level 27 to 100, each one would have their totals added by 600. Amethyst would become 701, and Emerald would become 1016. As for Diamond, I was initially wrong with its total in the original Diamond ore onlook video. I said it was 1500, only considering the mining operation total, but I had considered a bunch of other base upgrades. Research and Development uses 1 diamond for level 3, Marketplace not including the penultimate upgrade uses an extra 108 diamonds, level 3 using level 3, level 4 using 5 diamonds, and level 12 using 100 diamonds. Storage Management also uses 20 diamonds, all for level 5, and 1 extra diamond is used for mining in an earlier level, that level being level 5. This is all leading up to a grand total of 2,130 diamonds needed, compared to a prior 1,530. Now the next one I have to talk about is Newtonium, and I have a lot to say about this fucker. It's a shame that it had to be Newtonium of all ores, because I made Newtonium's video a week before the update happened, which was fine since I can just mention it in this video, but still a little annoying. Newtonium is now used within basically every penultimate upgrade, with the exception being data and analysis. Minus mining operation level 27, which has a usual 100 Newtonium. Level 26 of mining ops used 250 Newtonium. Level 13 marketplace used 250 as well. Level 14 research and level 15 storage used 280 and 750 Newtonium respectively. So this brings the total of Newtonium needed to max out the base from 795 Newtonium to a whopping 2,425 Newtonium. Yes, 2,425, not 2,325. I'm looking at this wiki, and I very clearly see a mistake here. Obviously, it's going to take a while to properly finalize all the information just because of how substantial the new update was, so I won't hold it against them, but Newtonium isn't the main act. We're not here to rattle on about Newtonium. The main act are specifically these 5 ores: Antimatter, Constellation, Dark Matter, Element V, and Frightstone. There is another among this set, but once again I don't plan on mentioning that ore until a future video, as I did mention this ore in a prior ore onlook. The main comparison with these 5 ores is that beforehand they weren't used for any base upgrades until this update. All of them are only used for the final upgrades of each base station, aside from their usages for pickaxe trade value. First up is Frightstone. The way I'll be ordering this is from most to least used, so Frightstone is the first up due to being the most common ore of the 5 listed. Level 27 mining requires 1,000 Frightstone, and the remaining levels require 500. This leads to a total of an enormous 3,000 Frightstone needed to max out the base stations. Up next is Dark Matter. You need 350 for mining, 190 for marketplace, 150 for research, 300 for storage, and 350 for data, bringing a total of 1,340 Dark Matter needed. Next, funnily enough, is Antimatter. The 2 matters next to each other. You'd require 250 for mining, 125 for marketplace, 100 for research, 300 for storage, and 200 for data, giving a grand total of 975 antimatter needed. Constellation is next on the list: 200 for mining, 80 for marketplace, 75 for research, 80 for storage, and 100 for data. This is a total of 535 Constellation. Finally is Element V. This is the much more rarer Kappa, arguably. You only need 1 for each level, so the grand total is just 5. And that's about it for this video. This is the first time I set up a script for a video, but I felt like it was necessarily due to just how outdated the older why did I write older or onlookers on the script? Older or onlooks are. If you have any questions, be sure to ask, assuming you care enough to ask one. And I'll see you next time on the next or onlook, or video. Depends on when this gets uploaded. Goodbye until then, and I'll see you all next video. Goodbye. Wait. I mix it up. God damn.